How is everybody? Hey, Grandpa.
Hey, y'all. We're going to take just a minute, get everything up, get it running here, make sure we're doing all right.
Let's see, we have,
I don't see y'all. I don't see myself on the screen, so you have to let me know if y'all see us or if I have to change the screen.
okay, we have Sherry, Roy, which is actually Faye. So, hey,
Yeah.
Faye, and Grandpa, and Pam's.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
She's
Let's
got
go.
Sunday lunch finished. Let's go eat with
All
her.
right. That
So,
sounds like a winner to me.
Faye
Okay.
says Roy is listening, but he's actually outside, so he's running late. Okay, so Roy will be here in
Okay,
a
I
few
have got
minutes.
to figure out how to get to this thing here. Can y'all see us? I need to know, somebody needs to send me something and let me know if you can see us.
Yeah, we're not sure yet.
I'm not sure how. I've got to go back out of this, I think.
All right, go out and come back in. We're just figuring out, we thought we had it figured out.
Thought I had it figured out, y'all.
Give us just a second and let's see if we're coming in again. Go back. Go right there and click.
Give me just a second.
Are we there yet? Okay, so.
Here we go.
There we
Okay,
go.
hang on.
Hey, Wendy, we just got to turn the sound down. We're going to have feedback. And
Yeah.
Brenda, Chicken Coop, Arthur,
Okay.
Lula.
Okay, Doug and Stacy says we can start. They're here now.
Okay, we can start. Good. We're great.
That's pretty cool. All right, y'all.
All
Say
right.
hello to your neighbors. That's the
Yeah.
first thing that we like to do is make sure everybody's meeting their neighbors. If you know, find someone in your area, always hook up with them if you can.
And if nothing else, you guys have got to where you know who each other are. You've been on several of the other channels
Wayne.
Watching, and Wayne's in the house.
Wayne's in the house. All
And,
right. Wendy, how you
so
doing?
most people know each other. We're good. We're one big happy family. Everybody's back and forth from one channel to the other.
That's it. So,
Hey, Krista. So y'all are going to get a little let down today. We don't have any switcheroos or anything.
Yeah,
well, we can swap our own chairs.
we could swap chairs, but y'all have to understand that we're not, we don't have any fancy stuff going on tonight. We're just back to who we are. So.
Yeah, just back to being us. But I mean, that was us last week.
Oh, well, that's who we really are.
We love to cut up and.
We're 30 miles north of the Mississippi Gulf Coast, Arthur.
So Wendy says we're good in Nova Scotia. South Technical Academy, hey, hot as heck here. Well, it's hotter than heck here.
Hey, as a matter of fact, that's a little bit about something we're going to talk about tonight. So
yeah. Hey, Krista, what's oh darn?
So okay, we want to get y'all the Homestead Network. We're all excited about that. We've got about 12 people lined up that actually does this.
Right now 12, and I know there's another one coming in that y'all really gonna like. I'm super excited about that, but I can't give it away.
Can't give it away yet.
But I'm super excited about this next one. And go to thehomesteadnetwork.com and check out all the channels and check out their times. They're on Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays. We've got people all the time. And so y'all just check it out. And I think after us, we're the last ones.
We're the last ones on Saturday night.
Yeah, we're the last ones on Saturday night.
We don't have to worry about time frame, really, as long as we get started on time. We don't want to cut into living on a dime's time.
Yeah.
Arthur says, greetings from Meridian. Wow.
Meridian, we know where that is.
I know where that's at. I've been to Meridian many, many times. We're in Perkinston, if you want to know the truth. So if you know anything about the Gulf Coast, you know we're up there.
And 2.67, he's in South Mississippi. We know where he's at.
Yep, we know where he's at.
What?
He's about 45 minutes from us.
Yeah, about 45 minutes.
Yeah, so we know where that's at. And thank you, Doug and Stacy, for saying that we're doing a good job. Matter of fact, that's another thing we want to mention is Prepper versus Homestead. We've been a part of that group, and we want to invite y'all to go back and start looking at that.
Start with Julianne at Dirt Patch Heaven. She started this off about 4 days, something like that. And hers is called Preppers versus Homesteaders.
Bushcrafting.
Bushcrafting.
Yeah.
Is that it?
Yeah.
She starts it off. She asks 2 questions. and she answers to, and then she asks to
Right.
go for green living.
Yeah.
And then they answer her questions, and then they give two to the next person, and it works its way down the line.
Yeah. And Doug and Stacy sent us 2 questions on ours.
Yeah.
We answered those 2 questions, I hope, to their satisfaction.
To their satisfaction.
And then we asked Big Bear Homestead 2 questions.
Yes.
And they should have come out.
They come out tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
And from there, I think there's 4 or 5 more. I'm not really sure how many. I've got it listed in our description. All of them. I think I've got them all there. I copied it off Brad, so if they're not all there, it's Brad's fault.
Yeah.
I just throw the buck that way.
Yeah.
So we've got Ohio, Virginia.
Yeah, I'm going to be cutting a little bit of the chat out, but I wanted to get where I could see another part of the screen.
Cat Landrum says she almost forgot. You made it, dear.
Yeah. We got a lot of people from the North Carolina area, Virginia, great.
Yeah.
A lot of people from Oklahoma, Canada. I mean, I'm really excited, all y'all guys. I'm glad to have y'all visit with us tonight. Tonight is Wanda's Cookbook giveaway.
And do you know I don't have one in my hand? I'm sorry. I finally put one in my cabinet today. I had them all still in a box except the ones I've sent out. And I told Danny I don't even have one myself.
Don't even have our own. Yeah.
So I went and put one in my cabinet so that when you open the door, you see my cookbook in the cabinet. And today is our giveaway.
Today's our giveaway.
We did our randomizer earlier today, and we were just ecstatic. And should we announce who it is?
I think you need to. I mean, it's your cookbook. I'm going to leave this in your hands. You tell who it was.
I don't think I've seen her on yet, and I'm not sure, but I will be giving her a little heads up shortly. It's Elizabeth Pendleton. I mean, I almost squealed for her.
Yeah.
I told Danny, I said, guess what? So, Elizabeth, you got a cookbook coming in a few days. When we go back to the post office, we send in a cookbook to Elizabeth Pendleton.
She's actually, y'all, from Connecticut. She's from Connecticut. So.
Yes.
And also, those of you who sent money for the cookbooks, all cookbooks have been ordered that we've got, have been sent out that we have money from. You should receive your cookbooks by the middle of next week at least.
Yeah, a lot of you should have gotten a cookbook today, so that's something I wanted to ask. Did anybody get a cookbook today?
Right.
I think most of them should be, we sent them all out 2 days ago, I think.
Right.
So if you didn't get them today, Monday to Tuesday, you should
have your cookbooks by the middle of
we've got Home Place Journal, State of Grace, Cat Lover, Go for Green Living,
all right.
Use Your Hairs.
Cool.
So we've got a lot of not new people, but a lot of people just checking in.
With us.
How do you get a cookbook, Krista?
Krista, you know how to get a cookbook, girl.
Send me a kiss and I'll give you a cookbook.
You know how to do it. Go to the About page.
It's on our About page.
On our About
Elizabeth,
page.
Holy moly, no way. You guys rock. Yes, Elizabeth. I'm glad you're with us.
Yeah, did you hear it? You were the winner of the cookbook.
That's what she's saying. Holy moly, no way.
Okay, all right. Just so you know, you were the winner of the cookbook. The randomizer chose your name, so.
We didn't do it. The randomizer did. I thought it was great.
All right, we were glad to be a part of the collaboration with Doug and Stacy, Go for Green, and all them. Plus, we want to endorse this channel, Homesteading Network. We want to get people out watching it. Plus, this past week, we also had another YouTube visitor.
Yes, we had a great time with Amanda from Freedom Acres and her little girl, Sunshine.
Yep.
She's like the cutest little thing you've ever seen. And we got to sit on the porch and talk with her.
Yep.
We also walked around.
We walked around and showed her the place. We let her shoot all the video that she wanted to shoot because that's what we do. Is come here. She had tons of questions for us, so we sit down. She did some videos of us answering her questions for her. And then come to find out, I'm actually very good friends with her family and did not even know it until she got ready to leave. So. I thought that was extremely wild. I had known her family members my whole life and did not even know it. So
and Amanda is a young mother.
Yeah.
She's a single mother, and so I know a lot of people. I don't know how many of you are single mothers, but she's trying to homestead, and bless her heart, she has been cooking up a storm. She's been canning. She tried my muffin recipe and she tweaked it. Now I have to give her credit for that because most people will follow the recipe to the T.
Yeah.
Amanda played around with it. She tried different things. She didn't have apples. So she threw in blueberries and I don't remember the other one. She did 2 different versions.
Yeah, she did 2 different versions of it.
And so she's learned to tweak things when she cooks. And
yes.
canning, I think she's got us beat by a long shot. She's been canning.
Yeah, that's one thing I admire about her. She gets up at like 5 o'clock in the morning and starts her canning because she has to get up and get everything done before Sunshine gets up because Sunshine takes a lot of her day up taking care of the kid. And for a young mother like that, you know what, I give her a thumbs up because she puts forth a lot of effort and, you know, in taking care and preparing for her daughter. And I really think that.
Okay, now let me ask, we've mentioned the cookbook, but we forgot. Go to our homepage on YouTube. The About section has the cookbooks listed.
Yes.
And they're $20 for the cookbook, and that includes shipping and handling.
Yes.
We pay that out of that, so
right.
because it was such a hassle with trying to figure out how much for each one in each state, so we just rounded it off and said, look, let's just do it this way.
Some we win on, some we lose on. It kind of balances out, so we don't really worry about it.
So we kind of figured it out that way.
Yeah. Okay.
We've got Amanda's Garden says all Amandas are awesome. Yes.
We
know quite a few Amandas.
I know quite a few Amandas, and most of them are pretty awesome. I guess that's right.
And we've adopted several Amandas on YouTube. Amanda from Freedom Makers is one of our YouTube kids. We call them YouTube kids because we became grandma and grandpa or mom and dad or whatever to all these kids, and she's one of them.
Yeah, she was one of our early on ones.
Yeah, and Revelation Homestead. Good evening.
Yeah, and the $20, yes, Scatuli does include the cost of postage and everything, as long as it's inside the continental United States.
We would have to check outside of the United States. I think even Canada's included in that. I believe they told me that, but I'll double check on that. I do believe Canada is included in the price that they quoted me. So if it is, even Canada's okay, but other countries might be a little different.
All right, Wallace Knife Works. It's good to see you're doing better. I'm glad to hear that.
Tiffany, you are one of our YouTube kids. You've been such a help, and you were great a while ago helping Brad.
Yes.
Brad, when you get a hold of Tiffany, you guys are gonna rock.
Doug and Stacy says, "Oh, you adopt?" Yeah, well, I guess you call it that because we've been called old, we've been called grandma and grandpa, we've been called mom and dad. So we figured if we're gonna be called all that, we might as well start adopting people.
And at some point in time, we figure when they come here, we can put them to work like we did Scratch last weekend.
Okay, Tim said him and his wife are going Monday to buy some off-the-grid land. Y'all pray for us and Jesus will bless us. We will do that, Tim.
Yes.
Because, hey, I mean, I'm all for people heading and going. If you can go off-grid, you know what, brother, I'm all for it. You know, I mean,
and we want to keep Scratch in our prayers, too. Scratch
Made.
They have their house for sale, and they had someone look at it this week, but there was a no-go there. But tomorrow, they're having open house.
So y'all pray for Scratch Made Homestead that they can sell their house and get out to their piece of property.
Yes, and also my mom. She's
and
selling her house too. She's not going off grid, by the way. She's just needing to get out of the house.
Revelation Homestead says, "How do I get an application for an adoption?"
Okay, what kind of credentials and how well can you work?
Yeah, how well do you work? What can you bring to the table? You know, there's a lot of things that's on the application there.
Mainly, are you still in workable condition?
Yeah. That's the biggest thing, because my health is deteriorating rapidly. So.
And the heat's killing us.
The heat is killing us, which is another thing. We want to tell y'all a little bit about our day, how it starts out, because out of 39 days, we've had 37 days here that has been in the high 90s with a triple-digit heat index, with only 3 days of rain in that period of time. So we went back and looked, because I keep records of the temperature, the rainfall, weather conditions. I always keep records year after year after year. We actually went all the way back to February, and our hot temperatures here started in February. February started off in the 80s for us, the high 70s for a few days, but then it jumped to the 80s, and we've not gone below the 80s since mid-February here. It's been 80 and above, you know, pretty much most of the time.
Wayne's Homestead Disaster Prayers. Southwind Technical is asking for prayers. They had to move also, and they're having to start from nothing to get close to their husband's doctor.
Okay.
And they're starting a GoFundMe, so y'all keep Southwind in your
keep
prayers
Southwind
too.
in your prayers, because yes.
How's the critters doing in the heat? Any tips?
Well, that's going to be part of what we're talking about here. We start our morning off. We get up about 4:30 to 5 o'clock in the morning. I usually fix breakfast every morning, and then once we eat breakfast, we head straight out. I water and feed my sheep, and I open the gates and turn them out to pasture. I turn my free-ranging roosters in with my sheep, because I've learned as long as the rooster's free-range with the sheep, it keeps down on parasite problems. And then Wanda goes out and she feeds her chickens.
My chickens and my rabbits. This morning I'll clean the rabbit cage. I try to do that once, if not twice a week, because we have the catch systems, and I take and clean that out and wash those and dump it in our plants and stuff, so we have our fertilized. But before that, we pick figs. And
this morning we picked 2 gallons of figs this morning.
2 gallons yesterday, and a couple of days before that we picked a gallon each day, and we're just getting started.
Yeah, we've picked 6.5 gallons in the last few days. We've probably got another 30 to go on the tree. So
yes.
We're just having to get to them early like that before the birds get to them.
And so we're going to talk about the figs again in the morning, but after that I came in after I got through. I started a loaf of bread, and I started pickle relish.
Yeah, she canned her pickle relish today.
So I stayed in a good bit of the day doing things in the house, and I washed dishes I think 3 or 4 different times today, because I cooked dinner, I've done the relish, I've done the bread, and then I did supper. And so we've had a big day, and
I had to mow this morning. What little grass we got left due to this heat, I had to get out and get it cut. Then I had I made wooden spoons. Just worked in the garden. Had to go around. Had to take the lawnmower right around to all the different gardens we have, pick everything, the okra and all that kind of stuff, and bring it in. And Wanda cuts it up and puts it in the freezer and breads it.
And we've got, somebody asked about my rabbits. We have the New Zealand whites. Yes, that's
the only kind we have is the New Zealand whites. Do we make figgy pudding?
I haven't tried figgy pudding.
Pudding.
We're going to talk about our figs more in just a few minutes, but yes, we haven't tried that. I've heard of it, but I've not tried it.
I saw Teresa here from Socia right down here below us.
BC Truck wants to know, have we planted any bacon bits? Yes, we have 6 little bacon bits out there.
Yep, we have 6 of them running around the pen right now. We have 3 males and 3 females.
They were born 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Will figs grow in zone 7?
Yes.
Or figs will grow in 7, yes.
Yes, figs will grow in zone 7, yes. Now you may have to, let me tell you a little bit about fig trees. Fig trees, all the roots grow within the top 2 inches of the ground predominantly. Now it does have a taproot that goes down, but the feeder roots grow within the top 2 inches of the ground. You want to keep about a 4 to 6 inch mulch underneath your fig tree out beyond the spread of the limbs, and that way a fig tree will withstand the wintertime temperatures and won't die back. And you'll get a pretty good thing of figs every year.
Hey, off-grid. Hey, Sean. Your shirt says Pearl River. New York.
No, this Pearl River
is the college I was going to when I met Danny, okay? It's Pearl River Junior College here in Mississippi. I was taking a course in medical coding.
Yeah.
Okay. How do
said,
I get rid of rust spots on fruit trees naturally?
Oh.
Can you get rid of them?
That's a good question, Brad. To do it without chemicals, because usually what you have to do is use an oil spray in the wintertime. You can use, there's natural oil sprays. I have them for my trees right off the top of my head. I'm not remembering the name of it, but I have them for mine. Which I haven't had to use them on mine, really.
We haven't had rust.
We haven't had the rust problem yet. I was anticipating it, but I hadn't had it. Frank says, my fig tree is huge. It came with a Homestead when I bought it. Love it so far. I'll tell you what, we love ours. As a matter of fact, we probably got 10 or 15 of them planted. We only have 1 that's bearing. I have 1 from the Middle East that makes a fig about 2.5 to 3 inches in diameter. we're really looking forward this year because it has figs on it this year. We're really looking forward to it growing.
Somebody asked Brenda about you making wooden spoons. Yes, he made several wooden spoons, and Doug and Stacy said neem oil. That's the name.
That's the name of it, neem oil. Thank you,
Doug. Because we were trying.
I wanted to say that, but in my mind, I wasn't sure if I was actually right or not. But
we haven't used it very much, so we haven't seen it. Do you know how to get rid of wisteria? Dig it up every time you see it. I had to do that years ago. We moved into a place where the man had let wisteria go wild, and every time we saw it, we had to dig up every spot, and we still didn't get it all. You will still miss some, and every time you turn around, there's going to be wisteria. It is extremely hard.
As long as there's a root in the ground, it'll grow. And BC, yes, usually your hard pears are for cooking only. They're not hardly for eating. And when you cook them, they can really well because they don't go to mush inside of.
Sherry wants to know what causes yellow splotches on squash leaves.
It's usually a virus that causes that. And there's not really, in this kind of heat and humidity, there's not really much you can do for it. I mean, some people say you can spray milk on it and baking soda, but I'll be honest with you, I've never really had any luck with it. Usually once they get it, they'll last for a while and then they just die.
Where do you get neem oil? Usually you can get it at
most of your feed stores,
Tractor Supply, places like that should carry it.
But our talking about the figs, I'm gonna let Wanda.
I'm gonna have to have some notes here.
Yeah, because she's been really doing a lot of homework on figs.
Yeah, because nobody really pays figs any attention, and most people really haven't even used figs. So we wanted to tell you a few things we use them for, but I wanted to start out with a few little quick tidbits of information.
Yeah.
One of them is that figs are one of the world's healthiest food items.
That's what it is. Figs goes all the way back to biblical times.
Yes.
In the Middle East, because
they were mentioned in the Bible.
They're mentioned in the Bible, so they're predominantly originated in the Middle East.
Yes, and it actually is called a ficus tree. Yes. A lot of people have these ficus that they call them growing in their house.
Yeah.
But the fig is actually in that family. And the substance in the figs that cause skin irritations is called latex.
Yes.
And so it will eat into your skin. Mm-hmm. If you pick it and you don't wash it off immediately, it can cause severe damage to your skin on your hands. But one of the things that I read today was that many people believe that the figs were the fruit in the Garden of Eden that Adam and Eve ate. That's a mouthful.
And the only reason they believe that is because it says that they sewed fig leaves together for coverings. And so therefore we know that figs were evidently in the Garden of Eden according to what you hear about it.
Yeah. So that's just a tidbit. I mean, it's not nothing we believe or anything. I'm just throwing it out there. Fig puree can be used in the place of fat in many baked goods. This is something that a lot of you that bake might want to know, because if you don't have lard or oil or something like that, and you do have figs pureed in a jar, you can them.
You can them that way,
You can put it in your cake in order to help in the place of oil. Figs and baked goods naturally hold in the moisture, which keeps them fresh longer. So your cake would stay fresher with figs than it does if you put oil in it.
Yeah. Oh, let me get this. Addicted Prepper said, Danny and Wanda, last night I found out how you felt when his corn blew over. He said, half of mine blew over last night in a storm.
Hang in there.
Hang in there. Don't touch it.
Don't touch it.
Leave it alone, and it'll do it. It'll take care of itself. That's what we learned.
Yeah. And I see some of you are saying you dry figs and things like that. Yes, that's excellent ways to cook them. One of the funny things about figs is the early Olympic athletes used the figs as a training food, which tells you if they were using it as a training food, it has a lot of nutritional value.
Yeah, that was the early Olympics.
Yes. Yeah. And so if they used it as a training food, you know it is good for you. And it also said that they were given figs as a laurel. That was actually the first Olympic medal was figs. So, just saying. It's also a symbol of abundance, fertility, and sweetness.
Yep.
And then eating half of a cup of figs equals the same amount of calcium as half of a cup of milk. And,
yes, Brenda asked, do we make fig bars? Yes, we make fig Newtons. We wanted to make some of the most awesome fig Newtons I've ever eaten in my life.
And they're gluten-free.
And they're gluten-free. So, is that in your cookbook?
It's in my cookbook.
All right. Another reason to get a cookbook.
And the one thing is, dried or fresh figs do have a laxative quality to them. So if you're constipated and you need something, figs will help. We wanted to show you one of the ways.
I want to show you one of the ways. We're going to show you 3 ways that we do our figs here on the homestead.
Okay, this is one.
This is one. This is whole figs. We can them whole so that we can, we put just a little bit of sugar in them, not hardly much because figs have a lot of sugar in them already.
And these, Daniel will pick and eat these at, when he just needs a snack at night or whatever. I just saw Nikki Stanley. This is Addie Girl's Homestead.
Yeah.
She said, I make an awesome strawberry fig. Right there, girl. That's what this is.
Strawberry figs. Made with strawberry jello and figs. Mashed up.
And that's what this is, strawberry figs. Then, the average person, this is the way they do them. This is just plain strawberry preserves.
That's it. Strawberry, that right there is probably my favorite because in the morning I put a piece of gluten-free toast in a skillet with some coconut oil, and I'll fry that bread up and I'll put those fig preserves on top of it, and that helps me get my morning off to a good start.
Tiffany wanted to know if I dried the figs. I have dried them because when I make the fig Newtons, I make like a fig leather type stuff.
Yes.
And then I roll some of that up and put it in my fig Newton. So that's the way I do mine when I make them. But we do make fig Newtons on occasion. I make those because we could eat the whole batch in one sitting.
We could eat all the fig Newtons in one time. And this year, she actually took this year and used the huckleberries, the pulp out of the huckleberries to make
fruit
leathers with it also. So there's lots of different things you can do there.
Yeah, and I'm going to probably try the huckleberry Newtons. Instead of fig Newtons, a huckleberry Newton.
Brenda asked, how big does a fig tree get? Let's put it to you this way. My fig tree, I climb around in it on the limbs in it to pick the figs off of it. That's how big it is. It's probably 15 feet tall and probably 20 feet in diameter or bigger.
Yeah, about 8-10 people couldn't reach around it.
Oh, it'd be more than that.
At least.
Yeah, it's a good 20 feet across it.
Because it goes all the way from the chicken house door all the way out to the sidewalk.
Yeah.
It's huge.
Okay.
Let's see.
All right. Let's talk a little bit about the heat we've been having. It is so hot and humid here. That's one thing. Our gardens, we have a hugelculture, we have container gardens, we have row crops, all that here. And even though we can't water the row crops, so the row crops are on their own. Some of them are making it, some of them are not making it.
The sunflowers
are doing really good. The sweet potatoes are doing real good.
The peanuts, the jungle
peanuts are doing good.
Yeah.
My corn is drying out fine. There's no problem with that right now. But the things that we're having problems with is the container gardens. The container gardens, it don't matter how much water we're putting in them and fertilize, the plants are just not doing well in the containers. The heat is literally baking them.
Yeah, everything's looking pretty rough, and we water it and it perks up, and then 10 minutes later it's back
within
down.
Within an hour it's already drooping down again. And we've mulched, we've done everything we know to do. We've just planted new peas, black-eyed peas, we planted red beans, and the problem with that is we haven't had any rain in, 13 days, we haven't had any rain.
Yeah.
And our heat index has been anywhere between 100 to 108 degrees for the last 37 days. And it doesn't matter what you do to a plant when it's under that kind of heat, the stress just bakes it. There's not much you can do to it.
Sherry Sherry said that she had tried what you told her on her tomatoes when she was transplanting, and she said they're bigger than ever before. She said, thanks for the information.
Okay, I'm glad it worked for you.
And I'm missing so many.
Yeah, I know people are talking about it's hot in Texas, it's hot in North Carolina, it's hot in South Carolina. Try a shade cloth. I would have to have a train load of shade cloth to cover everything that we got here.
You have the tops of your containers covered with mulch.
Yes. It doesn't matter. It's not the fact that the plant doesn't have water. It's just that the heat on the plant is killing it.
Yeah.
It's just baking the plant. I mean, we've tried everything we know. Now, the things in the garden are doing okay. The heat's not hurting them. It's just the things that we have in containers.
Yes, and we thought, container garden's going to be a big thing for us, but if we have to water it continuously to keep some water in it, it may not be.
Yes, Wendy, we tried shade cloths. We've tried all that stuff. It's just
so hot here. We probably going to have to quit trying to grow things up in the middle of the summer and do early and late.
Well, it's like I told Wanda this year that we didn't get things planted 3 weeks early this year. I saw in February that things was 3 weeks ahead of time. I told her that. I said the heat's going to come early this year, and it looks like that. It has come early.
61 in May.
No,
really?
Brenda, really.
Oh.
I mean, that's like stabbing me in the back and the heart. I mean,
he was watching Julianne and Melanie yesterday, and I was in the other room, and he goes, "Oh no, you didn't! I'm not even listening to this." And I come running. I thought Julianne and Melanie had upset him really, really bad, but they were talking about how cool it was, and they had jackets on.
Oh,
and I was spazzing. I'm going, "Oh my goodness, what have they done?" But nah, Dirt Patch and Road to the Farm just upset him really big time because they had jackets on.
They had jackets on, man. Talking about how cool it was. They were sitting there rubbing their arms like this, and I'm like, man, I'm sitting out here in 115-degree heat index,
Yeah, it was warm. It's been being warm.
And the sad part about it is everybody around us is getting rain. The rain comes and it splits and goes right around us. We live on the highest hill in this part of the country down here.
Yeah.
And the rain just goes around this high hill. So, it's one of those things that it is what it is. God will take care of everything in its time, I suppose.
Okay, Hoosier says, didn't the Farmer's Almanac call for high heat and dry conditions this year? Yes, that was one reason we were sort of prepared. When we were talking about our being prepared on our Prepper versus Homestead today, one of the things that brought to my attention as we went back and watched what we said was that you need to know conditions. You need to know the weather, how to read the weather, and that's something that Danny does do. He studied the weather so much till he knows what's coming. He can tell you when a storm's coming way before it ever clouds up. He just the way things go.
It's just the way the weather conditions start affecting me and hitting me. And Arnie asked, have I ever grown pencil cob corn? Yes, I have a corn right now in my freezer. We didn't plant any this year. We have pencil cob in the freezer. It's an heirloom that I've had for many years. I rotate my corn from year to year. Last year I planted the pencil cob. This year I planted my Danny corn, the corn that I've developed over the last 20-something years. And y'all seen it in the videos. It stands between 10 and 14 feet tall, and it's got ears on it 16 to 18 inches long. I mean, that's my corn that I developed when I had cattle so that they would be able to eat it and it wouldn't be hard on their teeth, and we can make really, really good cornmeal out of it.
Yes. And, okay.
Frank says he's had the same problem there with the rain issue, no rain.
Yes. Nicole said they got a light shower. They're in Florida. Coastal North Carolina is like Mississippi.
Yes, you're right about that. Yes, it is.
We wore sweatshirts and our winter coats on July 4th. Oh, really? That's an old chicken lady. That's not right.
2.67 acres says, can we plant a fall crop of corn with the heat? No, because the corn worms will actually eat it up.
Big Family wants to know, where can you get Danny corn?
You'll have to contact me privately, and then we'll talk about see if I think you're qualified to grow my corn.
We'll see if we can hook you up, Big Family.
We'll take care of you.
You shall have some Danny corn.
Yeah.
How many you need? About 4 or 5 ears?
I tell you what, you want to talk to somebody who's a believer, you talk to Scratch Made Homestead. They come here and put 12 ears in a bucket, and it weighed 25 pounds.
Home place journal, we were above 100 a week ago. We've been 100, over 100, well, not 100 degrees, but 100 degrees with heat index.
Right. Yeah, that's the heat index here we're having.
Qualified. Yes, you have to be qualified.
Yeah, you have to be qualified to grow my corn. Yes.
It's a process.
Yeah.
Tiff said no rain in the panhandle. Krista's laughing at us. Do you think he's qualified, Krista? She probably thinks he's qualified for something.
It depends on you got to be able to wear these and wear them well.
He wears women's overalls well.
Oh. I don't know about that. Now I don't know about that was wrong. There, you probably should have left that one off. Somebody's asking. Brenda's asking, what are cornworms? Cornworms is a larva that's laid by an insect on the silks of the corn, and they crawl down in and they eat the corn off the cob inside the ear.
Hey, Scratch. Did
Scratch make it?
Wow.
All right. That'd be cool. What? Yeah, that's what Brad says. Ouch. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, you have to scold her on that one.
That was mine. I'm sorry.
Y'all got to just give me just a minute. I got to have some of this. This is South Mississippi well water here.
Yeah.
We don't do the community water thing here. They came through with it, but we told them they couldn't put it out here, and they didn't.
With the heat taking the toll on the plants now, what kind of preparations can be made for fall planting? We're in the process right now. He just took up the green beans. Yeah. And he's got all that level ground level, and he's fixing to.
We're going to start putting in our compost and things like dried leaves and all that kind of stuff. And we're going to take the disc and turn it all in where it can be getting the ground ready for this fall.
Krista said they were actually men's overalls. Okay, I'm going to have to give it to you, Brad. But they were Krista's overalls you were wearing. Yeah. How about a purse to collect vegetables in? We actually have a bucket.
We have a Hoss tool thing. I mean, a Hoss bucket. I don't know where did you put it? I'm gonna let her get this. I'll show y'all what we pick our vegetables in, what we pick our figs in. Matter of fact, we have some videos coming out about this because this is probably, and I would urge y'all to buy one of these things. They're not expensive. You can go to our website and you'll be able to find these. I'm not sure how they're going to
see this, but
this is the back piece that goes over your shoulders.
All right, let me get it fixed right. I got to figure out how we're going with it. Oh, I see. It's got to go this way.
Yeah.
It does like this. It's a harness.
It's a harness system. You got two clamps here. These things clamp on the sides of the bucket like that right there, and one over there.
So you put it on like this, and then this one hooks here.
That one clips on that side over there.
I gotta find it. Okay, now I don't know if you can see or not, but
yeah. It's got a nice back piece on it here that works out really good.
And when you're picking, you can just come and put it right here.
Yeah, all the stuff fits right in this, and you can get these at Hoss Tool. We got us one of them, and I'm gonna tell you what.
It's made a difference.
This has been a back saver for us. I'm gonna tell you. It's really comfortable to wear.
I'm showing my backside to the camera.
That's all right. I mean, you can go over to, like I said, to our website. We have a matter of fact, we'll put a link at the bottom of this.
Well, they had to go to our website to go to the Hoss link.
Yeah, just go to our website.
The contact us page.
Yeah.
At the bottom, it'll have Hoss Tools, and it'll take you under it. You can click on Hoss Tools. It will take you all the way to their stuff, and that is on there. I don't even remember how much it is, but
it's not very expensive at all.
It's well worth
every dime you spend on it. I'll tell you what.
They have some really cool stuff. We're really getting pretty happy with the Hoss Tool stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I fell in love with Hoss Tool. I mean, they have made my life so easy here. That it's just amazing. Talking about. Arnie says corn stalks build up the soil. Yeah, what I did on my corn, my sweet corns, I took the bush hog and went in there and just bush hogged it all to pieces. And then I went in and I took the turn plow and I turned it all under. And I just let it rot as green manure underground. Is the way I do mine.
Yes.
Okay, let's see what else we got going on here.
Got to get a couple of those buckets.
I ordered a double wheel hoe yesterday. Oh,
that's
save.
awesome.
Okay.
That thing has been a lifesaver.
I want to tell you, that thing's been a lifesaver for us. It has. It has made. We've got all the plows to go with it. Now we don't have the planter to go with it. We're going to see about getting a planter to go with it so we can do a video on that. But the cultivators, the half shovels, and all is just
chicken
great.
Lady, her mom's family grew up in Collins. Hey, I was at Summerall, which is just right outside Collins. So I know where you're talking about.
Yeah, we have a wood chip shredder here. Y'all watch our videos where we ground up our corn stalks. We grind up our own wood chips, but the only problem with wood chips is they'll rob nitrogen out of your soil, and you got to really load up on the nitrogen in order to, I guess you say, balance out the wood chips.
Yeah, that's what Elizabeth was asking. Wood chips rob nitrogen in the garden, so how do you fix it?
You gotta really put a lot of nitrogen in there, like chicken fertilizer. You gotta dump a lot of chicken fertilizer, a lot of green grass clippings and stuff like that in there. A lot of green stuff you want, because wood chips are basically a carbon, and you got to get nitrogen. Just got to balance in with the carbons in order to break it down.
Thank you, Roy. Roy said he ordered through our link on the House Tools. That's great.
That's great.
We really think that's a good deal with those. If something happens and you don't have gas for a tractor, or you don't have a mule, because not too many people are like Doug and Stacy and have horses, you know.
Right.
So that double wheel hoe is really a way to keep your ground broke up.
Well, the way our reasoning behind it was this: if EMP happened, or if it got where we couldn't get any gas or any diesel for our tractors and stuff like that, we was trying to figure out a way we could still garden in our row crops, and the two-wheel hoe has made that possible now, because it has a nice little cultivator, it has a nice set of shovels, it has a nice little middle splitter you can put on it, it's got nice sweeps that you can cut the weeds in the middle of the rows
and
with.
It's something I can use as well as him, and at our age, we don't want to have to be sitting using a hoe all the time.
Right.
We do use it, because even since we've had it, we've used the hoe in places.
Right.
But that clears a lot up, and you don't have to do a lot of pulling. We still have to pull some weeds, but not as much. It saves a lot of time.
Yeah, Arnie's right. You don't ever really till the wood chips into the soil. You just basically pile them up on the soil, and you mix your nitrogen in with it. And now somebody said, well, they mix rabbit fertilizer there. So rabbit fertilizer is not really a heavy nitrogen. It's more of a potassium.
You need the chicken fertilizer.
You need the chicken fertilizer, but the rabbit fertilizer is really good to add with it too, because it's classified as a cold fertilizer. In other words, it won't burn anything up.
Tim wants to know, can I just buy one for the wife to work the garden? Just asked him. Yep, you can.
You can.
The wife would love it.
As long as you can make it, if you can crack the whip and she listens, it works fine.
Let's see. Plant
rapeseed to make biodiesel. Yes, you can.
And Grandpa says, Tim, good luck with that.
Yes, that's right. I was thinking the same thing. Okay.
Man, we've been. Are we getting?
We still got a few more minutes left.
What would you recommend for a cover crop for the winter?
A cover crop for the winter.
Their winter's pretty cold.
Their winter's pretty cold. I would probably say some sort of a clover. There's several different clovers that grows in cold weather, and I think that it's going to have to be some sort of clover that's going to be a good cover crop.
We like clover here as a cover crop.
It works pretty good here, and it's pretty cold hardy, because even it gets down in the 20s here sometime, it doesn't hurt the clover. It still keeps going. Yeah. Nicole's like, Mr. Danny, really? Crack the whip?
She knows he never
She knows I'd never crap a whip on nothing, yeah.
Have you drawn a winner for the cookbook?
Yes, at the beginning of the program, we mentioned that Elizabeth Pendleton was a winner of the cookbook, and she's on the channel tonight.
So yes, we have drawn a winner, and it was Elizabeth Pendleton.
Yes. Throw us some more questions out there, because we're winter rye. Yes, that winter rye is good. The only problem with winter rye is that in our climate where we live at, when we plant ryegrass or winter wheat, when we cut it off and try to till it in, it just keeps coming right back up and it knocks us back on our planting time. But if you live in a colder area, then it may not come back up. I'm not sure.
Karina says her cover crop is several feet of snow. Well, we don't have that problem.
We don't hardly ever have any snow here. I mean, it's very seldom.
And Elizabeth saying something about clover tea. Yes, it is a very good, has cancer-fighting properties in red clover. So clover tea is excellent.
Yes, clover tea, especially red crimson clover.
Roxanne says she wants a cookbook. Pick me. Okay, we've already got a winner. So if you want a cookbook, I still have several. You will have to go to the About page. On our homepage, the About section. And it gives you where to order from.
Nicole says, can I come back? I want some of this one that's dill relish. Yeah, you can come back. We don't have a problem with that.
Come on. I just made sweet relish today.
Yeah. And yes, Home Place Journal, buckwheat is good. It won't grow very well here, but it does grow well up north from here.
Do we use Epsom salt in the garden?
Occasionally, if I see a plant is deficient in magnesium, then I will use Epsom salt.
Yes, red clover is great for strengthening the heart also, yes. Red clover is just really good all the way around.
It's good for animals, it's good for people. The only thing with animals, you have to be very, very careful. If they get into it and eat a lot of it, it will cause bloat in them. So, because it's just so rich and high in proteins.
We usually pull ours up or something and take it to our animals instead of putting the animals out there and just letting them eat forever.
Yeah. If y'all hear anything on the screen, our neighbors are shooting fireworks, so don't think anything about it. It's not guns or anything like that.
Tiffany says she told her husband that you make scratch big Newtons, and he said to tell you we are moving in. Okay, as long as you guys work, Tiff, you know the rules.
That's it.
You have to keep this internet up and going, and you can come live with us.
Yeah.
That's it.
Have we ever used basil tea on tomatoes? No, we do plant basil with our tomatoes, but we've never used basil tea.
How long do you let chicken fertilize rest before putting it in the garden?
How long do we let our chicken fertilize rest? We compost ours for probably 6 months.
Yeah. How do you know if your plant is low in magnesium?
By the leaves. You can look at the leaves. The leaves will have yellow streaks in them, which will usually tell you you've got a magnesium issue.
Good night, Wayne. Somebody wanted to know about coffee grounds. Yes, we do put that in the compost.
Yeah.
How do you keep the squirrels from digging up the peanuts? Well, right now we
shoot the squirrels. I'll just be honest. I mean, we shoot them.
They haven't bothered them too much yet, but I think a rabbit bit the top of a couple of them.
We've had more trouble out of rabbits eating the tops off of them. Now, we did have some problems in the beginning. The squirrels dug up the peanuts when we planted them. But, Elizabeth,
how do you know the plant needs magnesium? The purple leaves.
No, that's
that was
potassium.
Potassium's purple leaves.
Potassium is the purple leaves. Magnesium is you got the yellow streaks that start coming in the leaves.
Okay.
Yes, Doug, fermenting tomatoes with basil. Yes, that is it's great. It actually really tastes good too. Let me
Wallace
see here.
Knife Works, howdy. How are you?
Best deer repellent. We live just inside the city limits, Patrick, so no hunting. Well, there's two things there. You can either use a crossbow and don't make no noise, or you can spray what's called hot pepper spray. You take all your hot peppers and you mix it up and make a spray out of it. You put some eggs in it. You can spray the eggs and hot pepper on your plants, and a lot of times deer will leave them alone. And
someone's saying something about Irish Spring soap. No, I've used the Irish Spring soap before, and it does work for a while. They get used to it.
It does. What we do here a lot of times is we'll drive a piece of rebar in the ground, and we'll take the Irish Spring soap and rub it up and down the rebar, and the grooves in the rebar will catch the soap, and it'll actually hang in there for a pretty good while, even if it rains.
Yeah.
It'll still stay on the bar around the garden.
And it smells really.
Yeah, we do that occasionally.
Squirrel dumplings, yes. Danny makes some really good squirrel in the crock.
I have a way of cooking squirrel where it just falls off the bone.
Yeah.
Yes, they are very easy to trap.
Deer hate thyme.
Deer hate thyme. They also
I've got
hate
thyme, but it's in my herb garden, and I've got my little picket fence around it. If they get to that, you know.
They also hate rosemary, and there's several plants like that that's really good you can put in your garden that deer don't like.
Tams has said she's leaving, so have a good night.
Have a good night. Oh, let's see.
Too off grid. I'm not sure.
A barking dog does keep. Well, I don't know if he's chained up, it won't keep the deer away. Because my neighbor have deer dogs that they hunt with, and the deer walk within 3 feet of the dogs, and the dogs are barking like crazy, but the deer know that the dog can't get them. So.
Yeah, the dog's got to be free to roam around and keep the deer.
He's got to be a free roaming dog. Okay, Southwind said their computer overheated again. Well, yeah, I have one that does the same thing.
Yeah, it gets really, really hot on the bottom. And yes, Brad, it is a Vista.
Yes, it is a Vista.
He had fits while ago to believe you still have a Vista.
I do still have a Vista. And as a matter of fact, when the other one blew up, it was the only one that worked.
Just saying.
Just saying. That thing is old and it's still Cadillacs. So.
Yeah, and so Brad and Krista did a little thing before us, a couple hours before us, on how to deal with computers and cameras. You have to go back and watch their live stream on that. And one asked, how's our chickens laying? Our chickens are laying. I got 16 eggs today.
She got 16 eggs today, so I think they're doing pretty good.
Yeah.
The heat hasn't affected that too much.
They take it in spells, and they stay pretty cool because they're not in direct sun for the most part. They have buildings they can go in that are, have enough airflow and stuff like that.
Patrick said he lost all of his okra leaves and cucumbers to them suckers. Look, they beat our okra so many times. Matter of fact, we got some video going to be coming up this fall. Hopefully, we're going to be putting in a new shoot house on the place here. I've gotten a new crossbow this year, the Barnett Quad 400.
And he's anxious to kill a deer.
I've killed 73 deer with a regular compound bow. I've killed several hundred with guns. I've never taken a deer with a crossbow, so this year it is my goal to take a deer with a crossbow.
And I just might. I want to learn to hunt, so we're going hunting. We're going to set
us up a shoot house.
And we're going hunting. I may not shoot anything, but I will be at least there. Sometimes, yeah. He says he can't take me hunting because I can't be quiet.
That is a problem. That's the reason we're building a shoot house where I can put her inside the house.
And I still can't be quiet. Need to break the broody hen. Elizabeth, we'll take the broody hen. Send it to us.
Yeah, I'd give anything to have a broody hen right now. And yes, a moose will kill a dog.
But we don't have moose here.
We don't have any mooses here. If we have a moose here, I'm going to get scared.
Mooses. It's a moose. One moose.
How many chickens do we have? They want to know how many chickens do you have that's laying?
I've got 10 in one pen. We've got 7 in another where there's 3 or 4 of those still laying. There's 3 or 4 don't lay. Yeah. And then I've got 9 new ones, and today I got 3 from those 9. They just started laying a couple of days ago. So those 9 are just kicking in.
Okay, Southwind says we want to start thinking about a fall garden, but we're going to have to move very soon across the country, and I don't know what sprouts are going to travel well. Oh, that's a tough one. Depends on how far you got to go and how much water they need.
Yeah.
What climate you're even going to.
And what time of like how long before you move. If they need planting before you move, you don't want to start them too early and say they need to be in the ground and you're moving next week.
Right.
And they get too spently.
Yeah, that's one thing you have to understand about plants is plants from seed to harvest only have so many days from seed to harvest, so you got to kind of make sure that you get that.
Have you ever hunted or got an alligator?
No, I've never. I've seen alligators before when I was hunting, but I've never actually tried to take one. Hoosier said the deer tore up their maple saplings. So they also tore up my peach orchard here one year. They broke every one of my peach trees off, and we ate deer meat that year.
Plural of moose is moose. Moose is moose is moose. It doesn't
matter.
Plural
of moose is meese.
Is it?
That's what it says.
I know.
That's just moose. A joke, though, really.
I was thinking so, but it might be true. I just thought moose, moose, moose.
Can you plant lettuce and peas as a fall crop, and do you have to start it in the house? We can't plant Now, it depends on what you're calling peas, whether or not you're calling like green peas or if you're talking about field peas.
English peas will
English
not.
peas will not grow here in the fall.
No.
They will grow in the wintertime, they won't grow in the fall. And lettuce will grow in the fall, but it won't grow in the summertime here.
Yes, we will probably,
What
if we
did you
can,
use
we will
for
do
nitrogen?
lettuce in the greenhouse this time or something.
Living Ready wants to know, what do we use for nitrogen to balance out the wood chips? We use chicken fertilizer and green grass clippings.
All right. Elizabeth had a bunny attack her garden. Home Place Journal had some alligators. It tastes like mossy chicken. What's a mossy chicken?
I've eaten alligator before now. I have eaten alligator, but I just haven't never killed one. I've eaten alligator tail.
Okay. And then Amanda's Garden says she loves that gator tail.
It is good. I mean, to me, it's like white meat. It's almost like chicken.
Hoosier says he hunts deer, etc., but living in town, I can't
Sling an arrow.
or arrows. That's true.
I know that, yeah.
When you live in a closed-in environment, you can't do that. We have to watch which ways we shoot, too, because we have neighbors in two directions. We can shoot the other directions.
Big man, have a heart and trap. Well, I don't know. He's probably talking to one of the other guys. I was a trapper for many years. And
how's the sheep? The sheep are doing really good.
Sheep are doing. The only problem is the heat. The sheep are really struggling with this triple-digit heat that we're having here. So
they're lazy. They stay in the barn.
They stay in the barn. I don't even know why they do. I think they should be out under a shade tree. They'd probably do better.
Yeah.
Okay. Spray your mixture of egg yolks and baking soda and water. Deer do not like the taste. That's exactly right. If you mix a little pepper in with it, it even does a better job.
Yeah, cayenne.
Cayenne pepper really works well.
That's about it.
Okay.
Hi guys, off topic, but I love the color of your walls. Thank you, Living on a Dime. They are. This walls were what, a lighter?
They were a beige color when me and Wanda got married.
3 years ago they were beige, and we got married in July, and in October I went on a family trip, and with my family that was already planned. And when I came back, he had painted these walls for me because I wanted them a different color. So we picked this color out, and we've been well pleased with it. We really like the color of these walls. Yeah,
well, they've turned out well for us. The green matched pretty good in here. Of course, I like the green anyway because it's the color of money. That's my favorite color anyhow. So.
Yeah, and mine is blue. I like blue, and he likes green. So.
I love green. Well, one reason I like green is because in the spring everything turns green.
Have you ever raised Gulf Coast native sheep, or do you raise yours from meat or fiber?
We raise the hair sheep here, the Katahdin and blackhead Dorper, and we do it for meat. We don't do anything for fiber.
Yes.
Amanda says they use cayenne pepper to deter the cottonmouth. I've never heard of that.
So
that's
snakes
interesting.
Don't like them?
That's pretty interesting. We have a few cottonmouths around, but never had too much problem with that.
Hoosier says, have a good evening, y'all. This is the first live chat he's been able to catch. Thank you, Hoosier.
Thank you, Hoosier.
Have a good night.
Have a good night. Glad you was able to drop in and spend some time with us.
All right. Home Place says she keeps king snakes on the property to get rid of vipers.
We see a king snake occasionally. It's not very often that we see one.
Gopher Green and Nikki Stanley both say they love green. Gopher Green loves green anyway, I'm assuming.
I'm guessing because they got green in their name.
A butterfly on my wall. Night, Homestead. Good night.
Good night, y'all.
Doug Stacy said, great breed of sheep, the Katahdin. Yes.
Oh, yes.
We are wanting to get a couple more.
Matter of fact, we want to get a couple more females to go with what we've got here because the only thing about them is them jokers can jump like a deer. If you get them jokers, if you get them pinned up in a corner, they can jump just like a deer.
Elizabeth wants to know, how much land does a sheep need?
Wow, we've got 2 sheep right now in an acre pasture, and they don't even keep up with the grass at all. I mean, the grass is like waist deep, and they don't even come close to taking care of it. As a matter of fact, I have to take the bush hog out and actually bush hog some of it down occasionally just to get rid of some of the tubs.
Than stuff they don't pay.
They don't eat weeds too well, so I'll go out every now and then and cut some of the weeds down.
Big Man says, be safe, have fun.
Life is short. I agree with that.
Do you guys have goats as well? No.
I raised Nubian milk goats for many years. I milked them twice a day by hand. I made butter. I made cheese. I sold the milk. But after my wife passed away, I sold the goats because I had to move out and take care of my parents for 2 years. And I just never have really gotten back into goats because goats are really hard on fences and stuff like that. And the sheep, they never even fool with a fence, and that makes it really, really easy for us.
Dee is headed out. Night, Dee. It is 1 minute till, so we have got to go, guys.
Yep, we've got to go.
Wanna?
Y'all have any prayer requests? You might want to put them online right now.
Yes.
What it is, we'll go back and look at the ones that we can see, and we'll be sure and mention them and pray for them. But tonight, right now, we're going to go ahead and we're just going to pray, and then we're going to say good night. Father, we want to take this time to come before you, and we just want to thank you for your goodness and your love and your mercy that you shed toward us each day. And Father, we want to thank you for keeping a hedge of protection about us. And Lord, tonight, all the people that's come out on our channel here, I just wanted to ask that you would look into their hearts and see their needs. And Father, that you would reach down and in some way, if they're hurting in some way, if they've lost a loved one, or if they have any kind of loss of job or whatever, Father, that you might comfort them in this area. And Father, I pray that you bless all of them, both physically, spiritually, financially, and emotionally, Lord, as they journey through this old wicked world that we live in here. And Father, I know a lot of them have a lot of needs they've mentioned before, and we continually pray for them. And Lord, we know that there's some of them that's needing to sell homes. We know that some of them are needing to move. And Father, we would ask that you would help the people to come to buy their homes from them and help them to be able to get to their new property. And those that are looking for land, Lord, we pray that you help them to find the piece of property they need so they can get on it and get set up before things get too bad. Now, we want to tell you how much we love and appreciate each one of the people who come out to watch us. And Father, you know we lift them up daily in prayers. And we just want to ask that you just bless them, bless us, so that we can reach out and bless others now. Thank you for loving us. We just ask this in Christ's name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, guys.
We love y'all. Tell you how much we appreciate you for coming out here tonight.
And y'all check out all of the Homestead Network.
Yep.
And all of the channels. Tomorrow night, there's about 4 or 5 different channels going to be up. And just go to thehomesteadnetwork.com and check them out.
Check them out. It'll tell you who's on at what time. Y'all have a great night.